Alright, so we're back. Got the 240 in the garage. We're just gonna start her up. Oops. Stupid ass alarm. Every time. Alright, so let's see how she's feeling on this startup. I'm gonna try and get it to hold. You can hear that it's actually like a constant misfire actually. There, now I think it's holding it. So, just trying to get a little warm before we get started. Always put your windows down so you don't lock your key in the car. Alright, so what we're working with right now, we're gonna pull the throttle tube off and then unplug the old harness, and here is the new. So we got the, let me pull this out here. Audi R8 conversion harness for the R32 Skyline with the igniter pack. There's the plug for it. And then right here we got, right from my buddy at Das Parts, 6 R8 coil packs. Oh, and it just shut off. Okay, so pretty much here, these are OEM Volkswagen ones, not no Chinese cheap shit. So let's go see if that'll start back up. Kinda just died. High beams don't need to be on. Yeah, see, now it won't even. Alright, you're going to need 3 things to take off the first piece, which is this intake flathead for the hose clamp, this for the external vacuum hoses on the back, and a 10 mil.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so now that this is out of the way, we're going to take off these, which I think are a 4 mil Allen key, and I'm going to take this one off of here just to get that out of the way. And then we're going to unplug the igniter from here and there. So let's get started. Okay, so I got the Coilpack cover off, and I took the igniter chip off of here. Let me just show you it. But this is it right here. Looks like it's in okay condition. Alright, so here are the stock coil packs. Here is what I'm removing, so there's this here. There are 4 bolts on each bracket. I'm going to take all those off, and then I'll pull this whole loom out of here. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so each coil pack literally has 4 bolts on it, so it was a pain to get all those off, but these should be good now. Pull these off. 3, 4. Ooh, 5 stuck on there. Oh my god, there's still a bolt holding it in. Oops, it's too many bolts, man. God, this is the last time I'll have to undo these bolts. Alright. Number 5 out. the old Coilpack harness. They honestly all look like they're in pretty good shape. Most of the little suction things fell off of them, but that's okay, they're still here on the cylinders, so pull these out. I dropped a screw in one of these, so make sure not to lose it in there. Alright, so we got all the coil packs out, dropped a couple bolts in there, but overall looks pretty clean. So I'm gonna start with the easy part, and that's putting the new coil packs on. So let's start at cylinder 6. Mint. I had these same coil packs on my GTI, so once you get them on snug, you just give it a little. Wait till you hear it click. Look at that, baby. Oh, that already looks so nice. Oh, that piece of hose is right in the way. This doesn't look as pretty like that. So, move this little harness. Damn. Ooh, that looks fucking good. That looks so good. I'll probably put them on an angle just for ease of plugging them in. Okay, yes, yo, that's what I like to see. All right, I'm gonna grab the harness and start hooking it up. Alright, so we got them all hooked up, got them fed in there. One thing I quickly realized is they actually give you way too much wire. So you see the harness has all this slack in it right here, but there's nowhere to put it because this wire for the primary O2 sensor is very short, so you can't really move that. So for right now, I'm just gonna leave it this ground, which is off of the ECU harness. I'm just gonna ground out on the valve cover here, and the other ground from this harness, which is right here, I'm going to put back onto the intake manifold because I searched it up and that actually is the proper ground for this engine. I didn't think it was, but I was wrong. So I'm gonna throw that back on right now, install that pipe. That will not fit back on there, no way. And then we'll see how she goes. Alright, so we got her all back together. I'll show you a couple things I ran into as issues. So, first thing was, these coil packs actually hit the bottom of the intake there. So I was not able to re-bolt it down with these two bolts. And also meaning, since this isn't actually bolted to there, I couldn't use that as a ground, so I took the ground from there and I put it on with this one here. The two grounds, so the grounds from the ECU harness and from the coil pack harness, I just put onto the valve cover there. And then as well, when I was taking that off, one of the crappy plastic hoses, this was on along the back of the intake part that I took off, and it literally just went to two empty wires. So pretty much what I did was I took it straight off the blow-off valve, ran it back here to in behind the intake and put a little hose clamp on it down there, and then these two I just left there, reconnected that one. So literally I'm gonna try and fire her up now. I hope it fixes my problem. No spark. Absolutely nothing. Not even a smudge of start. Alright guys, so a little bit of what's going on. figured out what was wrong with the 240, and I'm going to show you exactly what happened and why it wouldn't start. So right here is the container for my RB20 ECU. Does this look a little fucked up to you? So pretty much what happened was the ECU got full of water and pooled in the corners, and the entire circuit board was actually wet. So if you can see this corner here, focus that, and as well with this corner and a couple spots up there and there were all shorted out. I actually cleaned it up a bit so you can't tell as much now. I hit it with a brush, but figured out that ECU is just scrap. It's just not gonna work anymore. So I got a new ECU for the RB20, and honestly it fired right up instantly. Like, the R8 coil packs make a huge difference. Like, wow, night and day when this is driving. But pretty much what I'm gonna do now is start removing the intake manifold, because when I installed the R8 coil packs, you can actually see it is touching the intake here. So what we're gonna do is, I got the front facing intake manifold to put on. So we're gonna start off by removing that piece there, and what we're gonna do is take the top section of the intake manifold off, and I'm gonna see what I can do. So let's get started.